Hey everyone, good morning. Jennifer here with Marrero Family Farm. Just thought I would on a quick video of my gorgeous girl Peaches, of course my beautiful girl Alexia. But I have my brush out today and it's a great day for brushing this gorgeous cow. Peachy, you want to be brushed? So Peaches loves to get brushed and she's in desperate need. I tried to brush her last week, but she was in heat, and when she's in heat she does act a little feisty and oh, she's got some knots. When you're brushing a Highland, even though they are for the most part good cows, they're pretty docile, they can swing their head around and hit you with their horns at any time. And as you notice, I've got my hand on her horn just in case she decides to turn a little fast. Plus I'm kind of wedged between her and the gate and I really don't want to get smushed here. So you just always have to be aware of your surroundings.
Look at that pretty cow.
Look at all this hair. She's so in need of being brushed.
Fluffy.
When I'm on this side of her, I don't need to hold her horns so much because I can see her because of the angle that I'm at. Move your head.
She loves it.
She does love to be brushed. Oh, this side has some pretty bad knots here, so poor thing. I know you guys can't see it so much. Maybe I can get her to turn around. Come over here, Peachy.
Peaches, turn around.
Come here. Peaches, come. Good girl.
Good doggy.
Good girl. I know. So, like I said, she's in desperate need of being brushed. She has some pretty big knots that are probably bothering her really bad. Like, you don't have to brush Highlands, but they appreciate it when you do. We only have the one Highland, so I just kind of treat her as a long-haired dog and brush her down every now and then. Easy. I gotta get them out. Alright, be gentle. Typically cows, you don't have to brush them. She's a good girl. She can get a little pushy sometimes. She's good for the most part, but so I'm always cautious when I'm around her. She was really good when she was pregnant last year, but then she had her calf, and after she had her calf, she kind of just got a little feisty. So I always check her over when I do brush her. She doesn't have any signs of mites or lice or anything like that, so I'm not worried about that. It's just all these knots, and I'm sure like the change of the weather going from cold to hot, and you know, she doesn't know if she should keep her long coat or shed the long coat. So her body at this point is just going through a change because of the temperature. The temperature has been really weird here, so I can understand how she's feeling.
Mama, how old do they live to be?
I don't know exactly how old they live to be. I do know that they can breed up until the age of of about 20 years old and still have calves. But then after 20, that's typically the end of their breeding. So I'm not quite sure. I'd have to do some research on that. But that's an excellent question. Now, Highland cows, they're also known as coos. And if they're in a herd, like normally with cows, you hear of herds, but Highlands in a herd is called a fold. So that's what they're called in Scotland talk, the coos. Also, another thing about Highland cows, it is the only beef that the Queen of England will eat. This is the desired beef cow on her land. So,
Hello.
So they must taste amazing. I have not eaten Highland cow yet. One day I'm sure I will, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. I'm thinking we might actually sell hers. And then if Duchess, if she has a bull, then we may raise him for meat. The only reason why I say that is because Highlands are worth more financially than a mini Jersey, so it would be more beneficial for us to sell her calves rather than selling Duchess. Because if Duchess has a bull, we may only sell it for like $900, whereas if Peaches has a bull, we can sell it anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. So as you can see, financially it would, and because we only have one Highland, it would be more beneficial for us as a small hobby farm rather than keeping it to raise as meat. They're not much for dairy cows. They don't give off a whole lot of milk. That's why we ended up getting a mini Jersey, because they're known for their milk production. We have already done one process of artificial insemination with Peaches. However, her artificial insemination did not take. She had a miscarriage, and we're not quite sure why. She has had 2 calves in her lifetime, and both were done naturally with a bull. So we're gonna go one more round of artificial insemination with her here soon, actually this month. So hopefully we can get her pregnant and have a calf somewhere around, by the time we figure it all out, it'll probably be around November, possibly even December, hopefully not going into January. But let me get this. Look at all this hair. This is definitely extraction of winter coat.
Do all cows like phones?
I wouldn't say that they like phones. I will say that they are curious animals. Is she being curious of you right now, you think?
I think so.
Are you done? Yeah.
All that hair coming off of her. Looks like dust.
Some of it, she's got a lot of grass and like little particles from going through the woods and stuff. So that's it, you guys. This is how we groom our beautiful Highland cow Peaches. She is about 5 years old this month, actually. So she is definitely in her prime of breeding. We got her November of 2020, and she has been an amazing addition to our small hobby farm. And as you can see, every time I brush it, she goes and licks it. So it doesn't stay nice for very long. And I do feel like I need to get some detangler for her because the knots that she has right now are pretty significant. So, bye Peaches. Bye pretty girl. We have had a lot of wind and rain. We had some really bad weather. It was just not worth coming out. I got kind of sick, so I've been feeling a little under the weather. So here's our beautiful Duchess. We should be finding out any day now. I'm just waiting for the vet to figure out a day that would be good for him to come out so we can find out whether or not she's pregnant, which hopefully will be, I'm hoping this week, but we'll see. It would be a great week for him to come out. There's not supposed to be a lot of rain. So, and it's supposed to be very sunny. So this week coming up would be an excellent week for him to come out. Look how pretty she is. Look how pretty when that sun hits her. She's such a pretty girl. You good girl, Dutchie. Come here, Duchess. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Hey, what happened to your nose? Come here. Come here, girl. What's that little mark on your nose? Huh? What happened to your nose? We might have to get her into the milking stand and check her over. Hopefully it's nothing much, but a little patch of missing hair. Come here. You're such a brat, Peaches. She is. She's such a brat. She thinks that everybody's has food in her hand or something, and she just wants all the attention. Nobody else is allowed to have attention except for her. Which, it's challenging when you have a cow with horns who, she's a good cow, but if somebody is looking into getting cows for the first time, and if you're like me and you're just absolutely obsessed with Highland cows, but you don't really know anything about large livestock animals, I love my Peaches to death. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore her, and I'm so glad that we got her. However, there's always a however. I got Peaches with the hopes of her being our milking cow, and we were milking her. And I milked her for probably about 6 or 7 months. And her, the most amount of milk that I got at any one time was probably about a quart. A quart of milk is 4 cups, which, as you know, is not that much milk, especially from a cow. You would think that you're getting at least a gallon, 2, 3, 4 gallons. So my dream of milking a Highland and having her be our Homestead cow and being our milk provider didn't turn out the way that I was hoping for. Not saying that a Highland can't do that, just our Highland, her udder was not that big. There are some other Highlands out there that do have larger udders that could possibly give more milk. So I wouldn't completely like X out that idea, but there's other things you have to think of when it comes to milking a Highland cow. The milk station, because they have horns, you have to configure your station different than you would for a regular dairy cow. Because if you have it to where it closes the normal way, they can get their head out. So you have to do things just differently. That's just the way it is because of their horns. They're done differently than a regular dairy cow. So would I get another Highland? If I had a larger piece of property, yes, I would get another Highland. When she gets pregnant and has another calf, like I said, if she has a bull, we'll most likely sell it. If she has a heifer, then we may grow it up. We're just gonna have to see. it's going to depend on if we're able to improve our land or not. If we can improve our land, then yes, we'll probably keep another cow. But if we can't improve the land, then it probably would not be fair to keep another cow. So we'll probably just end up, honestly, at this point, selling her babies until like maybe next year. If our grass is better at that point, then maybe we can keep it. Now, Duchess, on the other hand, if she has a bull, we may keep her bull and then just put it in the freezer. Especially with the price of meat right now. Had just priced out recently a grass-fed Angus bull to buy the meat with the meat processed and everything. It would have been $2,400, which that's a lot of money. It's a lot of meat, but it's a lot of money. And I think because we actually own cows, if we were to have a bull, to grow him up and then take him to be processed, I think would probably be the best way to go at this point in time with the prices of meat going up as high as they are. And because we have a freezer that we could potentially put the meat in, I think it would be worth it. But yeah, we won't really deal with that until the time comes when we know for sure that she's bred. And then of course, when we know for sure that she's about to calf, once we find out what she's having, then we'll probably do some more research at that point to find out the cost and to see if it would be cheaper to purchase a cow or to raise our own. Because of course, when you're raising one, now you have to feed it and stuff like that. But we wouldn't have the purchasing price. So it just kind of depends. I think it would be cheaper to raise it and feed it than it would be to buy it and then have it butchered. So a lot to consider when having cows. Now back to my previous question, would I have another Highland? As far as stability, they withstand the cold better. So Highland cows do really well here in Northeast Alabama. We have nice summers. It does get hot, but they do okay in the heat as long as it's not like long periods of heat, and they have to have enough water. Having a pond would be nice, but it's not necessary. You could always hose them down. And also they can tolerate winter weather really well. They also forage really well. So if you don't have really good grass, they're really good at eating leaves on the trees and stuff like that. They also are not very susceptible to disease. So they're very hardy, strong animals, which is what I love about them. They also don't need shelter. So if you put them outdoors, they do fine without having any kind of shelter outside. However, now that we have a milk cow, we are going to be making some shelter out in our pasture. Even though we don't have a huge pasture, we do have an area that we're going to make a small shelter out there for her. She's a very small cow, and even if they both wanted to be in there together, even if the goats are outside or whatever, they can all kind of huddle in the shelter that we end up building. Not quite sure when we're going to get that started, but that is on our to-do list also. But being a newbie to cows, Highlands were an amazing dream that I've had for the last few years before we had our homestead. And it was the first large livestock that we had on our homestead. I am grateful that I had the experience that I did with her, because I was able to spend a lot of time with her and get to know her. And I took her from a place that there really wasn't a whole lot of hands-on to where I was spending a lot of quality time getting to know her, getting her to trust me and stuff like that. And she does trust me. When I was milking her, at first I did not have a milking station, and I was just milking her in our paddock area over here, and she did well with that. She just stood for me. I think once we had put her into a milking station, she was still fine in the milking station. She got used to it. But once we had a vet here to artificially inseminate her, she started to have a little bit of a distrust. When I saw the way that she was with the vet and the kicking that she did, it was unbelievable. But I think she might have lost a little bit of her her trust in us. So she's not as easy to trust now as she was before then, if that makes sense. Now I still do trust her, but I'm a little bit more cautious of her. I see what she's capable of, so it makes me more aware and more cautious, which we all should be around large animals anyways, especially when they do have horns. I have seen videos of people getting jabbed pretty good. So, you know, it just, being a new farmer, it just makes you much more cautious. But still, like I said though, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love my Highland cow. They are an amazing breed of animal. They are docile. They can be pushy. If you have smaller breed animals, like my mini Jersey, I don't know if they're all like this, but my Highland does not allow my mini Jersey to get attention like you saw. When she thinks that somebody else is getting more attention than her, she will steal that attention away from them. So I think if you had a herd of Highland, I think it's best just to let them do their thing and be, you know, herd animals like they are. But as far as a homestead, if you want a Highland to milk, try to get a Highland that has a really good udder. That way you're not concerned about needing more milk for your farm. So it all depends on just what you really want for your farm or your homestead. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has different personalities. Everybody's able to handle more. Maybe you're used to livestock animals. This is my little buddy Jasper. But yeah, so everybody's different, and you just kind of have to feel it out. Instead of purchasing one, go and hang out with some. Find someone that has them and spend some time with them and see if that's what you really want. I feel blessed to be able to have the opportunity to have one, and if that's something that you really want, make it happen. But try to spend some time and get to know the animal first before you just go ahead and jump into something that you're not too sure of. But like I said, I wouldn't trade it for the world. She was my first livestock animal, and I was able to spend a lot of time with her. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And I'm grateful for all these little wonderful blessings. They are all so sweet. If you guys have not met Jasper, this is Jasper. This is one of Piper's little bucklings. And we will be keeping him. You want to say hi? He is very curious about everything. And as you can see, the spots where we just budded them are healing up very nicely. You can see on Casper, his are completely healed. You don't even see the little marks anymore. Oh, he won't stop moving. See, he's all healed up. Little sweetie pies, huh? But they are very friendly and very social, very loving. And then we have Pebbles' little baby that we will be keeping, but she's in the stall right now with her mama. She's only a week old, so she's just a little one. We're not letting her out yet with the rest of them. Hi. You're dirty. You're very dirty. Yes. Look at his little dirty legs. He's supposed to be white. He's got mud all over him. They're so silly. They're so silly. Huh. They're just silly little babies. They're 6 weeks. Soon to be 7 weeks. So she's getting big. This is Hope. She is the sweetest little thing. We have not disbudded her yet. Typically when you disbud a goat, it's between 3 to 10 days. I felt her again today, and I still didn't even feel little nubs coming out. So I don't know, she might be pulled, but I don't think so. And I definitely don't want to take the risk. But then again, I don't want to disbud her if she doesn't need it. It's one of those, you know, rock in a hard place. You don't know, you just don't know what you should do. But I mean, we don't want a goat with horns, but we don't want to put her through that trauma if we don't have to. But that is another video for another day. So I hope you guys found this video informational. If there's any questions that you have about Highland cows, I'd be glad to answer them for you. If there's anything that I didn't touch on that you're more interested in, you know, just leave a comment down below and I'll get that question answered for you. And if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos, especially about these cute little angels over here, my little curious boogers. But I love all the animals on the farm. They're so much fun. But that's it. Until next time, guys, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you then.